I don't know if any of y'all can relate to this, but when I was a kid and I was at like recess, I would play a game called Superheroes with my friends at the time. Now I was like wicked young. I wasn't like 15 playing this game. Basically the whole concept would be, "Oh, I want to be the Flash, I'll be the Flash and you can be Superman or Spider-Man or Batman or any superhero really." And we would all have to fight to the death and who tagged one another would win. We all had like one special ability where like if you were the Flash, you could like freeze time if somebody got near you, but you could only do it once. And like so on and so on. If like somebody got close to you, you could like web zip them, but that was like the last time you could do it officially. And then like if anybody got close to you, you were tagged and you were it. It's a pretty like funny game and it was wicked childish. But I remember one kid specifically would always try to play this game, and when he ended up playing it, he would just do whatever the fuck he wanted. He would make up his own abilities and his own superpowers and his own like superhero name and everything. He never played like by the rules. And looking back on it, it is kind of funny because it's just a ludicrous game that we would all play as kids, and sure, you can just make up your own superhero, whatever. But he would just change the rules on command whenever we would get near him and be like, "Oh, like don't tag me, I have time travel abilities, I can go anywhere on the playground and you can't tag me," or whatever. Like, what are you, okay, I guess we don't tag you then. And you know who that kid grew up to be? He grew up to be the Batman who laughs. Because I swear to God to you, the Batman who laughs is the most ludicrous character that has ever been created that can just literally negate anything that comes his way. And if you want like further proof, all I need to point out to you is that the Batman who laughs became Dr. Manhattan at one point. You can't get any more above and beyond than that. I'm telling you, this character has managed to accomplish like the craziest feats that no other character has ever accomplished in the DC universe. And his stories are even more out there than like anything else, because this dude has killed like his entire world and like other worlds too, full of like superheroes like the Justice League, the JSA, like anybody. If you told me he killed the Spectre or the Presence, I wouldn't even like deny it. I would just be like, I would just take it. I would be like, okay, yeah, he definitely did that. And I read the Batman Who Laughs storyline recently, and I gotta tell you, it's one of the most confusing storylines I've ever read in my life. Not to say that it's bad or anything, it's like somewhat good. It's just like there are so many different like puzzle pieces in this story that like sometimes don't come together properly. So like it just gets glued together, like, you know, like when you take a puzzle piece and it has like an edge over here and an edge over here, and then the other one has like 5 edges, and you can't connect it, but you just like force it to. That's like what this story kind of feels like when you read it. It's just there's a bunch of like different things at play that are all jumbling together and you don't like quite get it. But the basic consensus of the Batman Who Laughs storyline is the Batman Who Chuckles wants to make the real Batman the Batman Who Laughs. And he ends up accomplishing this, sort of. He manages to kill the Joker and make it so Batman ends up getting infected with the Joker toxin and becomes the Batman Who Laughs. Only in this storyline, what differentiates from the actual Batman Who Laughs origin, and I know I'm going to be saying Batman Who Laughs 1,000 times, so to differentiate between the two different Batmans, I'm going to refer to the real Batman Who Laughs as the Batman Who Laughs, and the Batman that is real, like the mainline Batman, I'll call him the Batman Who Chuckles. Now basically, what ends up happening after the Batman Who Chuckles gets infected with the Joker toxin is he ends up injecting himself with 1,000 different vials of the Joker serum so he can negate the effects as long as possible. Now, Joker also doesn't end up dying, he actually ends up staying alive, but he gets his heart carved out of him, and he's just alive, and he, like, pops in and out of the story whenever he feels like, really, just to, you know, have some cringeworthy dialogue. And the Batman Who Laughs not only infects the Batman Who Chuckles, but he also wants to kill every single happy Batman out there because he deems the happy Batman, or Batmen, as the worst Batman, and he wants the Batman Who Chuckles to be the worst of them all in total. I think I'm getting that right. I'm not sure. And the Batman Who Laughs also wants to take the serum out of all of the happy Bruce Waynes so he can add some little chemical mixture to make the happy Batman juices into bad Batman juices and spread them all over the world to make the world a dark world. If you're having trouble understanding this, trust me, I don't really understand it myself at all. During this time, the Batman Who Chuckles is like on a race to try and cure himself and stop the Batman Who Laughs. And along this way, James Gordon Jr. is involved and Commissioner Gordon's involved because they have some voice prompts that they have to say for like a failsafe to enact to stop the Batman Who Laughs. And the Batman Who Laughs also brought a Punisher version of the Batman called the Grim Knight. And the Grim Knight's basically just there to shoot and kill people and be edgy and be like, yeah, this is my bat gun and this is my bat sniper rifle. I'm the best bat gun guy there is. I'm trained in all bat type guns. And I trained and trained and trained to be the Batman if he never had a no-kill code. It's like kind of cool as an idea, but then when like the character's written in this storyline to be the way he is, and trust me, if you ever read it, you'll know, he's just kind of cringy, I'm not gonna lie. And the whole time, it's just like this huge thing where it's like Batman gets one step closer and then the Batman Who Laughs is always like, oh, well, I'm the Batman Who Laughs and you're the Batman Who Chuckles and I laugh harder than you, so I'm gonna grit you away and you're gonna like be left here 3,000 steps behind while I enact this nuclear bomb that you're never gonna be able to disable because I already enacted all several failsafe protocols because I am the Batman Who Laughs and you're the Batman Who Chuckles and I laugh louder. It's just... that is, in essence, this entire story. And throughout the entire story, like I told you, it's a race against time for basically Batman to cure himself of the Joker toxin. While this entire thing is playing out, Alfred's basically just like, oh, 50% of your blood cells are infected with the Joker serum. You only have so much time left. Yada, 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 yada. And eventually it all comes to a head in the end with Batman being like 10% of the way being Jokerized. And I don't really know how they're calculating this, like, blood transfusion shit. Basically, he ends up becoming full-on Jokerized, the Batman Who Chuckles. And the Batman Who Laughs is like, oh, now you see the world through my eyes, and we can finally accomplish our goals of making the dark universe the darkest of the darkest. And the Batman Who Chuckles is like, no, I'm the Jokerized Batman, but for some reason out of sheer will, I am still Batman in the end. And the Batman Who Chuckles is like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You're fucking Jokerized. Like, it's so, like, crazy. And basically, in the end, even though he's full-on Jokerized, he still, like, is able to negate the Jokerizm stuff. And he stops the Batman Who Laughs. And he manages to cure the entire world of the Joker, Bruce Wayne, bad juju juice, and he saves the day. And like somewhere around this time, Commissioner Gordon and like James Gordon Jr. are killing the Grim Knight in like the most brutal way too. And like the water systems are infected with Joker serum as well. And like Commissioner Gordon drinks up the juice and he ends up becoming the Commissioner Gordon Who Laughs. And it's just a whole jumble. It's a whole mess of just storylines intertwining into this, like, huge mess. This, like, ashtray of just storylines that don't make sense. Until, like, out of nowhere in the end, somehow there's a serum that's developed to cure Batman. And he's just, like, sort of still Jokerized. And he's just like, yeah, that was a hell of a time. I'm glad that I went through that experience to know what it would have looked like if I was the Joker Batman Who Laughs. But I only was the Batman Who Chuckles. Thank God I never did any of that crazy stuff that he did. But like in the end of the story, everybody gets cured. Everybody's fine except for Commissioner Gordon Who Laughs. He's just out there, and that intertwines with a whole different story where he basically makes the Superman Who Laughs and the whole Justice League Who Laughs, and everybody's laughing. It's a riot, man. And it's like one of the most confusing stories I've ever read, and I read it last night, and I kind of just woke up this morning, and I was like, I want to just make a different type of video where I just go on a huge rant, and, you know, I basically riff off of Moist Critical, and I just stand in front of a camera with, like, a black t-shirt on, and I just talk in front of my monitors, and I just try to assemble together what the story meant. But really, in the end, I don't even know myself what the story meant. I mean, I'll leave it to you in the comments to, you know, shit talk me and basically, you know, belittle me and tell me what the actual story was about. But I did not feel like going backward and writing an entire script for this video about this, like, ludicrous story that I read. I simply couldn't. I like I didn't want to reread it. It like it's got cool art and the story's a jumble of stuff and like there's some cool moments. Like I do like the idea of Batman becoming the Joker. I think it's a great idea in concept, but it's like somehow never properly executed and it's I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I guess that's it. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.